Hey everybody, Stephen Morales here, and today I'm going to shoot a quick video on some stretches and some soft tissue work that you can do with a lacrosse ball if you're having pain in your hips or in your glutes, okay? So my hips are pretty tight today, and this is why I wanted to shoot this video. So what you're going to do, make sure that you have the lacrosse ball. You can find this on Amazon. They're only a couple bucks. You can find this at sporting goods stores. Like I said, they're pretty cheap. I always keep this with me in my gym bag in the car. Just because a lot of people use foam rollers, but you might not be able to take that everywhere with you. Now once you have this, what you're going to do, what we're going to be working on is right in here. It's called your TFL, right in the front right here. So my pelvic bone is here, and then my greater trochanter, that bone that you feel, that you think is your hip, is actually a branch off of the hip, but that's right here. So we're working this area right here, and then it's going to come back into your glute right through here, okay? Now I'm going to go on this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lean on, so I have this place right here, I'm going to lean on this, on the wall. I'm bringing both feet out so they're kind of staggered, and I'm going to lean my weight on this. Now some people will shoot videos and they'll show them doing this on the ground. This is a great way to progress into that, because some people hop straight to the ground, they're like, ah, that's too painful, I can't do that. Because when you move from something like a foam roller that kind of spreads out the tension a little bit over the muscle, it's painful, but it's not going to be as pinpointed as this, and this is going to be a lot more intense. So people go from that to the lacrosse ball and they're like, dude, I just can't handle that. Like I said, this is a good way that you can actually progress into that. This is also something that you're going to be a little bit more likely to do if you're in an office setting. So I'm not going to just like hop on the ground necessarily, but I might find a wall in the bathroom or something like that I can do this in. Now once I'm here, I'm kind of just shifting my body weight back and forth on this. I'm going to come into the glute. I'm going to shift around there. And if you find a knot in there, typically what I'll do is I'll shift on it a little bit, but then I'll also just hold on top of it. And what I'm waiting for, and this can take 30 seconds to maybe a minute, you'll actually feel that muscle where it's tense right there relax, and that ball will actually sink into that muscle a little bit more. Like I said, my feet are out from the wall. Obviously I can't put my feet close to the wall, then there wouldn't be much tension on this. If you want to scale this more, you can bring your feet further from the wall, which is going to create more tension or more weight on that, okay? So finally letting go now on that. Another thing that I'll do once I'm here too is to get the more technical side of myofascial release is I'm pinpointing this area, I'm holding this area down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create movement there. And what I'm going to do is the side that I'm doing this on, so this is my left glute, I'm going to raise that left knee up like this, and I'm going to do that 5 to 10 times. For this video I'm only going to do 5, so we're not sitting here watching me do this whole time, but as you're pulling that leg up, you're going to feel that pull through that tension. I mean, this can be painful, but I say that in a good way. I can actually feel that getting that work that it needs. This is self-massage, right? So I can go here too now, and now I can do the same thing, just lifting up that leg. And this is just one technique. This is kind of what I'm going to show you right here is just the most basic things that you can do for this. And then I'll shift around on that a little bit more. And then what I can actually do, and I'll shift towards this side to show you that, the next part, is that when I come into this front part of my hip and I'm leaning in front, I'm more in that TFL area, I can then roll back and forth on here. I can lean on top of that, and you'll feel that tension. I mean, this is pretty intense. And if I wanted to, I could lift a little bit in here. The ball has a tendency to shift. This is typically more where I'm just going to shift my body weight back and forth on this, okay? Getting right in there, like spots like that, super painful, really, really tight. If you watch the video with Katie Ford that we did on the glute series, she talks about that glute amnesia, where people are sitting so much now that basically the glute kind of forgets what it's supposed to do. I mean, it gets weak, and as it gets more and more weak, the TFL, this front part of your hip, ends up trying to do most of the work. And that's why you have people that when they walk, they almost like plop their feet down versus an actual stride where they're going heel toe. They'll just pop their foot flat. This gets really, really tight because of that. So that's why this is super important, because the tighter this gets, the more you're going to feel that tug on your lower back, right? The glutes aren't doing what they're supposed to do. They're not supporting the lower back. They're not helping you walk because you're sitting in a chair. So This is a good thing. I would say at least once or twice a day, bare minimum, to do this to help if you have an office job or if you have any type of job where you're going to be sitting for an extended period of time. This is a great tool to travel with also, especially if you've been sitting on a plane where you're more cramped. I can get up in the airport and then I can do this, all right? Now the last thing that I want to show you is actually a stretch that you can do. What you're going to do is you're going to place your forearm up against this wall like this, right? It's just like this. And once I'm here, my feet are close and I'm vertical line, so I'm not out like this from it. All I'm gonna do is lean my hips towards this wall, like this. I'll come in as far as I can, and then I'll come up, right? We're stretching all through this area right here. This I would do about 10 times per side, right? Just fall in as far as you can. You should notice that you'll increase range of motion every time you do a rep. And what I'm not trying to do, as I'm here, I'm not trying to like compress in. I'm holding that stiff and I'll lean towards that wall, right? That wall is bracing me up. If I needed to, I could place my arm out here too. A little bit harder to do in my opinion. This is a little bit easier to do. And then you would do 10 per side, okay? So make sure that you get that lacrosse ball. Like I said, at least 1 to 2 times a day you're gonna do this. Now as far as the amount of time that I'm spending on each side, I typically spend 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Hitting inside that glute, doing my knee raises like this, and then I'll move over here, getting that front part where this TFL is at also. Afterwards, you should feel, especially if you're having nerve pain. Got a lot of people that come to me and they're like, dude, like I'm getting nerve pain through here. This is a great way to address some of that, because a lot of times it's from tightness. You have so much tightness in the hip, in the glute area, that TFL area, that's compressing those nerves, right? The muscle itself is actually creating so much tension that it's pushing on those nerves. That's why you're getting that nerve pain. So the 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and then just basically stretching that hip out a little bit with this wall stretch that you can do. If you guys have any questions or comments, please do that below. I hope this helps. This is one of the common problems that I see with people that come to me that do have office desk jobs, and they're like, what can I do at home? What can I do at the office to help? This is it right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned because I'm going to have more of these videos coming out soon.